Well, g'day guys, welcome to the channel. This is the first proper vlog after the flood event. So yeah, there's a bit going on. We're trying to get ready to harvest canola. It's pretty well right to go, so we're currently got the comb trailer to hook up. I think Josiah's sitting on the back waiting for me. Hey Josiah.
Hello.
So I got hooked up the comb trailer. We're here at the other main farm where we actually harvested about 50 tonne of barley when it was too wet, but just to at least get something in case the whole crops are right off. But the rest of it, a lot of it's green, so it should recover, but we've got to take the other header up to the main farm there where the canola is, and yeah, try and get going as soon as we can. You can see here all the grass is just all leaning over all through here. So basically this whole area here, even in all the trees there, was just all water. So yeah, there was a heap of water coming through, which has washed away a lot of the road. Yeah, a lot of the roads are pretty bad, so it's not sure how trucks are going to go getting to and from town to cart grain and things. But yeah, the other thing is there's just a lot of silt everywhere. You can see down there, and yeah, it just can be a bit tricky. But anyway, we'll take this up to the hill. Problem is the canola, the ground's really wet, but the seed is dry, so it's just a waiting game for that as well. We might be able to get in there and just, yeah, hopefully won't make too much of a mess. I don't think we would get bogged, but yeah, it's just about making a mess or not. So we've got another couple of days, or it might actually be 4 days maybe, possibly, before there's more rain, sort of, or another main rain event forecast. So we're going to be going whenever we can before that happens. Well guys, I have not touched the camera for like 6 hours or something. It's been pretty hectic here. But we've got, you might be able to just hear in the background, we've got the headers going. Because we're up on the hill here, it is drying out quicker. The ground's still wet, but the actual seed is dry enough to go. So both headers are going, and I'm about to throw the drone up quickly while I've got 2 seconds to get some footage of that. And then yeah, I think it's just hold on for the ride. Come down, have a look, make sure. Phil actually asked me to check that it all looks good from the outside. So you can see it is pretty soft, but it's not boggy. So that is a good thing. But there's a little bit of it that's been knocked down, which is making it pretty hard to get. You can see here it's yeah, it just mucks up the feeding, and yeah, it makes it pretty slow. But it's at least we're getting it off. That's the main thing. Looks like Phil's testing out the new diff lock that we put in on that header. Unfortunately, this is what we're in for this year, but thankful to be able to harvest. It's doing some drifting. So actually a lot of people ask why we have the tyres on the front of the header or combine if you're the rest of the world. I don't know why Australians call it a header, the whole machine, but it's for this purpose. It means we can go and go and go and push forward, being fairly confident we can always back up if we need to. If we have the tread the right way, then when you get yourself into a big sticky situation and then you can't get out, so you can be 100 metres into a boggy patch and you're stuck and no one can get you to get you out. So at least with this way, you can get closer to the edge, you can back up, you got a few more options. It's starting to really heat up now, so I think it was going to get to a top of 32 degrees Celsius, which isn't really hot for this time of year. This is the first time coming out of winter that it's got over 30 degrees, so that's really drying out the crops and the ground, which is great. It's starting to, the canola's starting to come off quite nicely now. So we've got the two mother bins down there. We're not actually putting them in the paddock for obvious reasons, but yeah, we've got trucks that can come up here at least and unload that when the trucks can get here. We're still trying to get that under control. For the time being, I've just been setting up the silos over there. Got the auger going into the silos, and I'm going to hop in the old comma here. Now, it is a little alarming because it is only running on 5 out of 6 cylinders. We found that out. They just started to do that, and we don't really have an option other than to just drive it like it is, because I don't want to say we're in panic mode, but we're in a desperate mode at least. We've got the canola here is sort of borderline okay, like it's good quality. If we get another rain event, it'll most likely probably halve the price of it. So yeah, the next 3 days we're just gonna go as hard as we can. But the other thing that happened is we didn't actually get, usually you have a couple of days as you're starting harvest to just get things going, and there's like always little things here and there don't work and you need to fix them, and there's a little bit of mucking around, but we didn't get that opportunity with all the rain and the flooding, so we've just had to figure all it out as we go while we're trying to go full steam ahead. So that makes for interesting times. So I've been running around trying to sort out all those things, and I haven't had a chance to do a lot of the camera work. So I do apologise for that. But yeah, well, hopefully things will get a little bit smoother once we get a bit organised. Nothing to be worried about here. So you might wonder why the yellow Acco isn't actually running. A few weeks ago, the radiator decided to start leaking and carrying on. So we sent that away to get fixed up, and it was meant to be back by now, but obviously with the floods and roads cut, we hadn't been able to get it. Dad's actually gone to try and get it today, and it's about probably an hour and a half drive away, but I think with some flooded roads it's going to take longer than that. So we're trying to get that back and going, because that's our main, more reliable truck, I'll say. But so far this thing, even though she's rattling on 5 cylinders, it still seems fairly reliable, so we'll just keep our fingers crossed. Wipe it and dip it back in. Yep, that's good. Just have it ticking over. now we're off for our big trip to the silo. This is embarrassing. I took over from doing the comma carton to the silo, and silly me forgot to check that the tailgate was down. So I've got, might be a bit over a couple of tonne there to pick up. Yeah, so that's fun. Anyway, we better get into it. Well, I'm the lucky one and I get to go home for dinner, and I'll come back here in the morning and blow down the headers, do all that sort of stuff, get them ready. So hopefully the headers can be going by 9 o'clock. It'll still be a little bit wet by then, but it should at least come to us and we'll be on the front foot.
Well, good evening folks, it's Phil here. We're just harvesting canola. Who would have thought that after all the weather events unfolded here in the last week? But it's great to see. Hopefully that canola out there is going into that bin there behind me. Can't see it probably because it's black, but should all be going in there hopefully if I'm doing my job. So yeah, but no, it's been a good day of harvesting. I don't think we got bogged even once today, so that was a surprise. There's a few wet bits in the lower areas, but we're just trying to stay up on the slopier country for now. Let it dry out a bit on the ground before we do those other areas. It's been harvesting very well as far as the crop goes. It's not too green, and when you're direct heading canola instead of windrowing, it's always nice when it's not too green to be trying to process through the header. So it's sort of doing about that 2.2, 2.5 tonne of the hectare, I think. But we won't know until it's all weighed and yeah, finished harvesting. They're only an indicator, those yield monitors on the headers. They seem to be 100% accurate. But yeah, fantastic at this stage, fantastic result for We've had a little bit of shelling out. You can see, you wouldn't be able to see there, but there's some little canola plants coming up from the last rain, so that tells you that there was a bit of shelling out through that wild weather we had with the rain and the wind. Thankfully we escaped any hail. So yeah, be very keen to get this off before the next lot of rain we're predicting in 3 days. So not sure whether we'll get it all done. There's some bits that probably aren't quite ripe enough, and a bit on flatter ground too that might just be a bit wet. So anyway, we're just having a bit of a crack anyway. It's about midnight now and the moisture's stayed relatively low. We've had a bit of wind, or a nice breeze at night here, so it's helped with that. But yeah, we're going to be filling up all our storage, so we'll have to pull up shortly and we'll have a bit of shut-eye, and we'll get back into it tomorrow.